Hello everyone, my name is Ben, and in this video I'm going to be talking about deletions, discharging children from the program, and terminating employees from the program. I'll start with deletions, and the first thing that I want to stress is that you should never delete information from the system unless it shouldn't have been there in the first place. For example, if you accidentally enter a duplicate behavior incident report, it's fine to delete that since it should never have been entered. But if you entered a behavior incident report for a child who subsequently left the program, that behavior incident report should remain there and not be deleted for data integrity. Just remember that you should never delete anything unless it shouldn't have been in the system, and you should be fine. If you do need to delete something, the way to do that is to go to the dashboard and then choose the delete option under the actions dropdown. I'll give an example by using the ASQSE. So I go to the ASQSE screenings dashboard, and then I choose whichever ASQSE I want to delete, choose actions, and then delete. Give the confirmation. Okay, so now the ASQSE is deleted. And that's the same way you would delete a behavior incident report, a benchmark of quality form, a child record, a classroom record, anything like that. However, you should note that you can't delete an item that has related records. So a good example of that is trying to delete a child from the system. So program 1 child has related records in ASQSE screenings and other places. So if I go to the children dashboard, search for program 1 child, and try to delete that child, the system is going to pop up this error message and tell me that there are related records and the child can't be removed from the system. It works the same way for classrooms and employees and any other record that can have related records in the system. If you did need to delete this child for some reason, you would need to go to all the related records and change the reference to another child, for example. So if I needed to delete program 1 child, I would need to go to all the ASQSE screenings, change the child selection to another child, and then go back to the children dashboard and click delete. Or the other option is to delete all of the related records from the system for the record that you want to delete. So if I wanted to delete program 1 child, I would have to either change all the ASQSE screenings and other related records to reference other children, or delete those ASQSE screenings and other records. However, I have to stress again, you should not be deleting anything from the system that should have been there in the first place. You should only delete things such as duplicates. And that's about it for deletions. So now I'll move on to discharging children and terminating employees. So when I talk about discharging a child, what I'm referencing is the process of telling the system that a child is no longer involved in your program. And that is accomplished by going to the children dashboard, searching for the child who left your program. I'll use program 1 child as an example again. Click actions and then edit. And once that loads, add a discharge date and a discharge reason. And the discharge date is whatever date the child left your program, and the discharge reason is the reason the child left. So I will choose parent chose to leave the program. Then once you're done, go down and click save. Now you see the validation failed on the discharge date because there is another record in the system that is after the discharge date for this child. So in this case, I have an ASQSE for October 16th for program 1 child, and therefore the discharge date cannot be before that related record. So I'm going to change the discharge date to the 17th and click save. And now it lets me save. So if I go to the ASQSE screenings, edit that ASQSE for program 1 child, and I try to change the screen date to the 18th, you'll see that program 1 child no longer shows up in this list. And that is because the system will not allow you to enter most forms for a child if this form's date is after the child's discharge date. So if I change this back to the 15th, program one child now shows up again. Okay, that's about it for discharging a child. Now I'll move on to employee terminations. So the process of terminating an employee is essentially the same as discharging a child. In this case, you go to the employee's dashboard, search for specific employee, edit, then enter a termination date and termination reason. Now, just like the child, if you enter a termination date that is before any records that are related to this employee, validation will fail. It will tell you what records would be invalidated by that termination date. You can go and either change the termination date or the dates on those related records, and then you should be able to save the employee information. Now, once that employee termination date is entered, like say I choose today as a termination date and employee left the program, now this employee will no longer show up on data entry forms for any data entry forms that are dated after today. And that's about it for discharging children, terminating employees, and deletions. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.